Hi everyone, welcome to the Heart's Frontier. I'm Kate. If you are new here, then welcome. It's so nice to have you here in this virtual space. And if you are returning, then also welcome back. And yeah, it's nice to be here. It's nice to be back. I feel like I always say that whenever I take a bit of a break, but I promise for this new year, I've actually got time put away in my calendar. So I'll be able to do things more regularly rather than just haphazardly when I have the time. So that's very exciting. I did one of the 2021 readings today, and so I thought I would start the session today, our weekly reading. I thought I would start it by me putting away these cards, just because it needed to be done, and I also needed the time, and I wanted to be able to talk to you all in this preamble. So I hope that's okay. And I'm really excited, actually. I got a new deck. This is from the new deck. It's called Whispers of Love. And then I also have this new deck called Divine Abundance. So I'm able to speak more to romance and better to career and or money, financial, questions a lot better than I was, at least through oracle readings. I always loved talking about love and or finances, intuitively and taking things from the cards that I could glean. But these feel a little more direct, so I'm very excited for that. I think that's going to be really good news coming into 2021 because it feels like I'm getting asked to do a lot of relationship and love readings lately, which I really enjoy. I've resisted doing them for a long time, and I think I'm going to start doing more even on the YouTube. So please drop a comment if you would like me to do some either twin flame or just, messages from your person, like love readings, romance readings, pretty much actually any ideas or things that you'd like me to do for readings. I'm happy to take suggestions as well. But I will definitely do more pick-a-cards and more of the weekly readings. And weekly readings I usually do as a pick-a-card now. I just sort of switched into that. So we'll see what this one ends up being like today. But as you can see, this is the stack of cards that I had for one half of the year for the 2021 reading that I did. They're 2-hour-long sessions, but this one was with someone that I knew, so it lasted even longer because, you get to chit-chatting. But they're quite robust sessions, and I have them, I would say, considerably well priced for the amount of time and energy that they take. So I'd love to do more of those. I have a couple on the way, but I have space for a few more before I close out. They're quite in-depth readings, which is why I can't offer them year-round, because if I did that, I just feel like I would lose all sense of time. I'd be talking about years and years and years all the time. Anyone who does energy work knows that when you tune into a longer energy or to a collective energy, sometimes it can be a lot. Like it's a lot of energy to hold space for. So I like to be judicious and discerning about how I do that to protect my energy so I can continue doing readings forevermore. So this week, we're moving into the new year. So I will have a 2021 healing elements reveal video, and I'm really looking forward to that. Different sort of tools or things that I see happening in the collective. Some things I see are about powering up, and some things I see are about letting go of your control over timing. So those are some collective 2021 things I'm already feeling are on the horizon for us. Being okay with not being the boss all the time, I think is something that also is coming up for a lot of people. You might have already started to see this coming up for yourself. And I have to apologize for this lighting. I don't know if there's a way. That's better. That's much better. I don't know why I started on an awkward angle, probably for the background reason, but I'm staying with my parents momentarily until I go back to my sweet little beach house in Port Stanley. So that is the reason for my new temporary abode. So I'm going to use animals, I think, for today's weekly pick a card. So I'm going to do, okay, it feels like I'm going to do 4, but I think they might be smaller piles. So 4 piles. And as always, you're welcome to listen to all of them straight through if you wish. Something that can be really nice about these readings is you can listen to the whole reading and then just pick up, tune in and out of what you actually, take in for yourself. It's good to be active and present while listening to readings, but sometimes there's also a magic to letting yourself intuitively pick up what were you meant to tune into. So I will try not to keep this super long. for your sake, but also mine. And you'll be choosing from 4 different animal cards. And I will show you the animals just in case you feel close to one today for whatever reason. Perfect. And these have been jumping over all over the place, and I'm on the edge of a bed right now, so they just fall right to the floor. I don't have the table to catch me right now, so I'm going to say sorry because I might be dipping in and out for most of the reading here. So the animals that we're choosing from here are skunk spirit, whale spirit, hawk spirit, and parrot spirit. Oh. It's like you wouldn't think it's so complex, but when you switch them around. So skunk, whale, hawk, or parrot. Okay. Awesome. It's funny, sometimes like I know a few of the people who watch this, and so sometimes I already instinctively know what someone's pile is going to be, and I get like preemptively excited for it because I'm like, ooh, that feels really good. I'm really excited to see what that says. So I just got that feeling about the whale deck. So first, we're going to start with skunk spirit. Again, you can slide along to whichever your number is, or you can watch the whole thing. So pile number 1, skunk spirit. Okay. So for this week, this New Year week, you're getting know your worth. And so I'm definitely going to pull from the abundance deck as well. Know your worth. Pal, when it feels like you've been really self-conscious or like really battling with some like self-esteem issues relating to something recently. And so this skunk spirit, it's almost like feeling like you're repellent, like people don't like being around you, or you're not good to be around, like you're only gonna hurt someone if you're around them. You also got rain, purification. So this feels like a cleansing. I wonder if maybe you've been crying a lot, or if you've been taking care of your body, maybe like purifying in like a detox kind of way in some way. Maybe, yeah. It doesn't feel like purifying your life of people, but maybe of patterns with those people. So you're like, I'm just not going to engage in this behavior anymore for something. It feels like something like you just feel like you've done wrong, which is like, that's a really hard thing to feel. You've never done anything wrong. You did things based on what you knew and what you felt at that time. And even if you do not feel now like those actions of the past were guided from your heart, please know that your heart was still meant to experience that being off path. That off path time is bringing you potentially on a shortcut back to your real self and your heart. It feels like things have been really closed off and guarded. So if you're not crying, it might be like you really need to. Like there's actually it feels like a lot of feelings pent up. Like I'm seeing someone closed off in their room, like not wanting to speak to anyone. And I'm seeing that a lot of it is because you just don't feel you're worth the time, or that you are capable of change, or that you're capable of being forgiven. Like I feel like you might have done some things that really felt not like you, and you let it sort of inform your identity. So this week feels like those things are rising to the surface, and it feels like if you were to take time away to reflect, that might help you with connecting to that pain. Like it does feel like that pain that you're hiding from is hard to reach. That's why it's feeling like you need to run from it, because it feels like the more you run, the safer you might be, when that's not really ever true. It's just like a fear mechanism. So, okay, this one came out upside down, and it's not like this deck tells me to read upside down, but every now and then when I see a card upside down, I sort of say, okay, this is more of a protection message. And that's definitely what I feel with this one. So, okay, this makes a lot of sense. Outrageous openness. So that's where I feel there's like, it's almost like you feel that if you were to be outrageously open to new experiences, to sharing your emotions, maybe to just being vulnerable in general. Like I feel like you're having a really hard time being vulnerable. It's like you fear that if you were outrageously open, it's like you don't necessarily trust whatever's going to come out. I almost feel like it's like I feel like there's some sort of part of you. This is like really, really deep. So I'm sorry, pile one. This is for a weekly reading. Like this is actually fairly deep as far as healing is concerned. But I feel like it's also a right message for you. So it feels like in the past, if you thought about being open, you saw someone else get hurt by being vulnerable or by being open, and you're like, there's no way that that's going to go well for me. Or you tried and then stopped yourself, and then you saw that pain happened. So you're like, it's a good thing I didn't go and open myself up because look how that went. And it's like, well, no. If you opened yourself up fully, it may not have had to go that way. Or if you opened yourself up fully, maybe you would have a different reaction than this writing it off. It feels like there's like a writing off of something. It says, "Dear love, open me to your will. Release me from my attachments. Surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed and I am open to receive." I'm going to read that again. So this is the outrageous openness card. It showed up upside down. "Dear love, open me to your will. Release me from my attachments. Surprise and delight me with your plan. You know what's needed and I am open to receive." So that feels like the energy that you're being asked to shift into, however uncomfortable it might feel at first. As soon as you start, it will start to lighten up. So I'm also getting changes and omens. I'm getting the feeling like you've been getting signs for a really long time that your life is going to open up again. Like I feel like it's been closed in some way. And so, because you've been getting some sort of signs or synchronicities or like knowings or little like feelings about things or memories coming back and like being reaffirmed in some way. You've been knowing that these things are happening, and then you just have not. It's like you've been stressing about the how or the what or some sort of part that isn't really a part of the plan. Lots of back pain for you. Lots of back pain. Maybe because you're struggling with your own like sensitivity, and it's like feeling like you need to guard yourself. Like it feels like this type of body language, like everything's like rounded. So just, you can open that up. And I'm feeling like a lot of like catching of the throat, almost like you're like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to pull back. I'm going to say, I'm going to pull back. Like a lot of like wishy-washiness with your communication. Okay, so we have patience. This feels to me like the confidence and self-worth and like the pain part of your experience. It's like have patience that this is working itself out. It's not here forever. It's not stuck. It's not, yeah, it says love is patient and kind always. And how true, right? Like if someone truly cares about you and truly loves you, they're always going to want to be kind and understanding, and hopefully they'll always also be patient, even in the face of this destruction that you feel. I really feel, Pi One, like you feel like you maybe like you did someone wrong in some way. So love is patient and kind always, always. And then we have another one here from the Whispers of Love. Yes, it says, "Turn on your heart light." And I really like that. It feels like so much. And I pulled this card, before I saw it. I was talking about your heart sort of grief, your pain. It really feels like the back of the body. So it feels like pains of the past related to how you loved, how you accepted or received love, how you gave it, but also like what you were given, your own grief, things that are other people's pains, like taking on other people's burdens and other people's pains way more than you needed to, and that really burdening you down. And it says, "Reflect on a time when you experienced love." And so I do feel this could help you get the bravery or strength that you feel you need in order to follow these signs that you've been receiving. And that really, if you were just to tell yourself, I trust that, you know, love exists, or I trust that success exists, then you can sort of be able to draw that straight path from like here to there. Pile one, I'm gonna bring in some angel support here. I'm just really feeling like things have felt really tough for you, and it's been very hard. Like I almost feel like you might have like chuckled when I said that you've been getting signs and things, because you're either feeling like the signs stopped because you ignored them for too long, or you don't trust that there were ever signs in the first place for whatever this thing is. Oh, I didn't even look at the card, and it was trust. So that's hilarious. Just a great job. So please do. That's all you need to know about that. You just need to trust, just like I just had to right there. Trust that you know what's coming, and you're right. Like you've been right all along with these signs that you've been receiving. And if you feel like they've gotten quiet, then return to yourself and return to your heart, because it may be that it's really your perspective of them. It may be that you've just been walking by all these signs and not even noticing them because other stuff has been plaguing you. And I really feel like plaguing, like it feels like you've been really bogged down. And I can't get over this heaviness on my shoulders that I'm feeling. So if this is what you're currently experiencing, pile one, I'm just going to send you love, because I really feel you could use it, quite honestly. And you have it within yourself. And sometimes you just need to be with another person to remind you of that love space within yourself. So from me to you, I love you. And I hope this, you know, I hope this eases up for you soon. I do believe that if you put that trust in to yourself and also to the guidance that you're receiving, that it will go well for you, and that, you know, whatever you feel has gone on in your past that feels not reconcilable, please understand that if you're seeing things through the eyes of love, then everything will always be, you know, patient and kind. And, you know, what's that song? Balance. Love is, yeah. It's whatever it is, you know, that place of love does exist in the world. And it's just felt hard for you to admit that for a while. And yeah, hopefully by seeing some of those signs, you might have that, you know, re-engage for yourself. And by the end of the week, you might have that sense of trust coming back. So pile one, that is your new reading. And stay tuned to look up for the 2021 reading and overview, things like that. I'm excited to do those this week as well. I'm not sure if I'll do, I guess I will probably do it while I'm still here at my parents'. So there you go. Awesome. So thank you very much, pile one. Again, if you want to book with me at any time, I always have the links down below. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. I mean, I'm sorry if this is the, you know, energy that you've been in, but I would also love to hear from you as to how you're moving out of it, because I'm sure you're working on that too. It really feels like your focus is starting to shift towards actually being able to deal with it now. Okay. Thank you, pile one. Now we're moving on to pile number two, which is the whale. And the whale showed up in another deck, in another reading that I did earlier today. So really feeling strongly towards the whale. Whale. Ooh, I'm like, hiccup, like I just pulling your card, I just started getting all of this like tense energy. And it's like, feels like I need to like hiccup or like release or like, yeah, it feels like very, very throat chakra based. Interested to see what else comes out with this reading here, pile two. That was like a really wild rush of symptom to start. Okay, that makes sense. So I'm getting feminine energy, but it's like reversed. So it says trust the great mystery on the whale card, and then you're getting feminine energy. And you know what? If you did not listen to pile one, you might want to, because it was all about trust as well. And you might resonate with that part of your story. So if you're waffling between the two, definitely go back and listen to pile one as well. Okay, whale spirit, trust the mystery. And I'm definitely getting a lot of this is about receptivity, being receptive. Yeah. Oh. I kind of hope that some people from pile one are still listening, because it might give you more hope. So I have Lady Nada, Heart Awakening. I just love the coloring on this card as well. It's just like so soft and lovely. And then Brigid, which is Inner Strength. So it says, awaken to acceptance and divine love, give and receive in balance. And then we have inner strength, which is move back to wholeness and recognize that you have the power. So I feel this group is, so I feel like you're going to be connecting to your feminine energy a lot better this week. You're going to feel more in the flow of things. And you're really going to, like, no holds bars. Like, you're not going to make space for giving without the trust that you're going to receive in some way. So if you're giving, you know, to not have an expectation of that person, but have an expectation that when you do good, good always comes back to you. So instead of like, oh, I'm going to do this nice thing for this one person because we haven't been getting along and I just want to be nice to them. Okay. So if you do that, you have to like put zero expectation on their behavior, but just trust that by doing well for, you know, yourself or for the other person in some way, by you giving that in some other way, the universe might give you that equal exchange and reward. It's not really like a reward. It's just more like that's how that works. Like the more good you do, the more good comes back. Recognize that you have the power, to me, is feeling like you've been doubting. I do feel this connects a lot to pile one in that you've been doubting that signs and things that you receive are like all true. Like you've been trusting a certain number, a certain percentage of them, but then writing off the rest. And it's kind of stood in the way of things for you. Trusting the mystery and recognizing that you have the power almost feels to your mind like it doesn't make sense. So I'm just going to try and like talk this out and clarify it a little bit for your mind to pay attention to. So please remind your mind that to have power is to be able to move with the current, with decisive action, while understanding at all times that you will not know everything. So embracing the unknown is a trait, I would say, of wisdom and of intelligence, because to believe that you know everything or that you could know everything is really futile and not useful information for the mind or for the ego. So to recognize that you have the power to move through things and go with the currents of how they need to go, to like go with the flow. It's like trusting that you can go with the flow. That's really what this feels like for you so far, pile 2 this week. And you know, I don't think it's for you, it's not feeling like that's far away from you. It feels like, yeah, this is what I'm working on and I know it. So if this video can just serve to be an invitation for you to continue trusting the mysteries around you, I think it's really about trust. Like it really, really feels for you. And the trust card came out with the other, with pile 1. So, I mean, I do feel really drawn to that part of it. Just really, really feels like this is about trust. In some way, you're going to recognize you have all the power that you were fearing was not yours and that you can fully, fully trust. Yeah. So you have ascending the mountain, which is keep going forward. So it almost feels like, yeah, okay, definitely. Whew. It definitely feels like there's been people or things. I see 616 on the clock. So again, any twin flame folks, that's a sign of, you know, union coming together, but also like of reaching harmony within each other. 6 with the 1 in between. So I am feeling like, there are people around you who have not understood these signs and paths that you're being led to take. It's like they see that path and they go, that looks like it leads to a burning pile of nothing. And you're going, that's my nirvana. Like that's what I want out of life. And it may be because this person, whoever it is that you're consulting or talking to, has different values and has a different upbringing and has a different life purpose and a life mission. So it may be that because they have a different life mission, they look at your thing and go, nope, that's not how you should do that, because they're just thinking about it themselves and how they would do it. So ask yourself if the advice you're receiving from others is advice they would give to themselves or advice they would give to you specifically. Because I'm feeling like you're getting advice given to you that's for them and not for you. But acting as if they're telling it to you. So I hope that's not happening, because it does get very confusing. It may be about like where you're putting your trust, you know, and like how you're trusting other people's information over your own. We also have detachment, and I'm really drawn to the fact that there's like a raven or a crow here, and I don't know, really into the crow energy lately. So if that's resonating with you, detaching from other people's opinions this week. So with detachment, you finally feel whole inside, with or without the fulfillment of a particular desire. Ironically, that's often when it's fulfilled. So this is feeling like an act as if it's already here, and you will then feel ready to go receive it. I also see extraordinary, which I really like. And I love that there's a peacock for many reasons, but especially this week, it's feeling like shining in a new light or in a different way is like being asked of you, and says there's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. And this is really what it feels like, right? So anyone else who doesn't see that yet, it's either because they don't know how to hold space for their own, you know, unique individual expression inside themselves, and they need someone like you in their lives to role model that for them. I feel like the detachment piece is really feeling about like whoever's giving you advice or who's trying to get you on the right track. It's like they might not know your track. And I do say this a lot to clients, like not everybody knows your life path, and most people don't. And either way, if they thought they did, they still wouldn't agree with some of your decisions. But all of the decisions you make are in divine order and divine plan. So how would that make sense, right? So no one, even you, gets to have full awareness or control over what your entire destiny or path looks like. You might have an idea of a couple points along your journey, but you might not know how you got there, right? So please just trust that if you continue receiving signs, then you can continue following them. And the people in your life, if you detach from them out of love, like with love, if you detach from them with love, saying, listen, I respect your opinion and I'm going to have to go my own way here, and hopefully you'll be there to support me if it's not the right path, right? Let them know that you might not know everything, but you just have to go with your gut. And most people will respect that, or try to understand, or at least let you go so that you can go do what you need to do for your heart to feel full. And don't forget that no one can do that for you. This is you acting on your own heart mission. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, that's you, pile 2. Thank you so much for tuning into the reading. It's a pleasure reading for you. I'm interested to see how your week goes. So if you can remember, let me know. If you just want to list a comment to say, yeah, that's me, that's what's going on this week, or that's what I'm working on, then you can drop a comment below. I have, you can book services and things like that all down below, and hope that you stay tuned. Make sure you have the notification bells on, because if you have the notification bell on, then you'll get notified when I do my 2021 reading for, well, it's not really reading, it's more like me telling you what I've already intuited for different healing elements that are going to come up for us this year. So thank you so much, pile 2. Now we're moving on to pile number 3, Hawk Spirit. So it says, let spirit be your guide. And this is now an ongoing theme. So if you have listened to pile 1 and 2, then this will likely make sense to you. If you've not listened to pile 1 and 2, it's not like this isn't going to make sense to you, but either now or after your reading, you might want to go back to pile 1 and 2, because it's really about trusting in the spiritual messages that you're being given. And that's what it feels like in the collective for everyone right now. It feels like different stages of receiving signs or synchronicities, and kind of getting knowings or feelings or impressions about what might be ahead. And feels like pile 1 had a really hard time trusting it and kind of was in a really dark place. Pile 2 is like open to it, but needing to kind of clear the way for some things. And pile 3, it kind of feels like you're rocking it a little bit, but I'm interested to see whether anything else like contrary to that comes up for you this week. But it feels more like you just need to like stay on track is what it feels like. It feels like you're doing well, and you just have to like deepen your connection. So it might be that you know that spirit is your guide, but you're not really relying on your spirit guides, and you could actually lean on them for more support, and it might help your growth. In pile 2, I talked about feminine energy and about receptivity, and that might relate to you as well. It might be pile 2 and 3 kind of relate to each other. That's what I'm feeling anyway. Okay, pile 3. Okay, great. I'm getting a lot of like sinus and like head pressure. So sorry if you're feeling that, first of all. But also I'm feeling you just might be like, I'm like, I've just been staring at work. I've just been focusing, like you've just been lasering in. That's what I keep seeing. Okay. Oh, great. So we have staying focused, hold the course. So I love that. That's pretty much just what I was saying. Hold the course, like stay true to what you already know, and it will deepen for you. Like there's not a limit. It's almost like you're starting to slow down because you're like, I've got this, I've got this. It's like, yeah, you've got this, and there's a whole world out there for you to understand more about. So it's not that, you know, you're going to be taken down a peg, it's that you're going to see galaxies upon galaxies left to discover. Then we have sanctity. Through offering, even the most mundane problem can become a sacrament. So I feel like you've maybe like been feeling like you've lost some of the specialness, like you've had these gifts or skills deepen and you've been getting signs and messages, and then kind of it felt like it went quiet and you're like, what did I do? Like, am I off track? Is this something that just jumps in and out? Do I never get to have, you know, a hold of it again? And this is your birthright, feeling this connection to spirituality or spirits, feeling a deep connection to nature, to your own heart, and to people around you. This is part of your birthright. It's part of the reason you're here. It's not gone from you at all. You just may not be paying attention to it right now, or it may be that you're lacking some, you know, tools or skills to get back to that place of, you know, high vibe living where stuff just happens that way and it all makes sense. So if you have been feeling that way, I will say the Executive Energetics program that I run is very much for this type of person who is looking to deepen their spiritual practice, with more practical things and like a level of commitment rather than it sort of passing you by or, you know, coming and going. So go with the flow like that. It's really like about being able to ground it in and root it and you know, learn more things. Quite honestly, it's really about how much more can you support your divine mission and your reason for being here through tools, rather than, yeah, it being haphazard. So you can reach out to me if you feel like that might suit you and might fit you. We have this freedom card, which I love. I love, love, love for you. Pile 3 says, I no longer want this fiery ring of resentment to block the good. Release me from its bonds. So whoever, whatever, however you've been resenting anything, it honestly feels like a huge category of things. It feels like you've been resenting your childhood for not setting you up properly. You've been resenting your past self for actions that you did out of fear or out of, you know, lack of connection. Lack of connection is like a huge, huge motivator for us to get off track. And it's very interesting to me when we don't feel connected, it's hard to act like ourselves, because the real reason all of us are here are not only just for us to wander the world alone, right? Like when I say we're each here for a divine purpose, I believe that we also have collective shared goals. And so I feel like you've been feeling disconnected from other people sharing in some of those similar values or similar goals. So it might be time to like start reaching out and building some new connections. This one here is movement into balance. So it feels like a fresh start is around the corner for you, and it might be just what you needed. I'm also getting sacred space. I feel like sacred space and perception, they came out together actually when I was drawing them. And sacred space and perception, it's like when you get to a place that feels sacred for you, you'll be able to have that perspective and also shift your perception of how you've been seeing things. So it feels like the magic has been lost a little bit, but you're not like fully out of faith, but you're also like, but was it real? Does it exist? Like, it's almost feeling like you just don't trust that things could be magical and or loving and or spiritual like consistently, and they absolutely can. So this might be part of the learning that you do this week, is just seeing how much more possible that is for yourself. We see actions speak loudly. So pile 3, you are the pile of action. So if it feels like you know, if you're someone who traveled from pile 1 to pile 2 to pile 3, you might feel now that this is more of a complete story for you. And so this week might be all about action. It also says, be supportive. And really, really, it's fascinating to me that we're ending on this card of like the couple. So it says, be supportive, make a genuine effort to show you care. And the other one says, express your love through actions. So I really feel like there's either one person or a couple people who really deserve to hear how thankful you are for them, to them, who, you know, are ready and willing to receive your love and in a way that feels pure. And it may be that you've been feeling like you've either been feeling like you've given not enough love outward lately, or you've been feeling like you're giving it and then it just gets dropped on the floor like no one sees it. And that's why you're having a hard time trusting in the magic of connectedness or connectivity, because it feels like you're not seeing it in front of your eyes. But if you act as if it's already there and continue spilling out with love, it will begin. I always say the universe has a lag time, right? So when you put out that love, it will come back to you. It just might take, you know, time. It's like a Louis C.K. joke, I think, but it's like you know, a text message, it has to go to space and back. Like it has stuff to do, and we don't get to be privy to all the different ways the universe works in our favor. This really feels like things are working in your favor if you just continue being brave and taking effort to show that you care. And I think the more you show that you care and the more you show love, the more you're going to receive that. It almost feels like you've been hesitant. It's like you're waiting to see love or care before you give out any, but that's not really the way it works. It is a reciprocal thing. What you put out, you should get back generally. I know that it doesn't work like line by line like that, but it works a lot more like that than I think our human minds are willing to concede with. So pile 3, that's your reading for this week. I would be curious to know whether this suits you, whether it matches where you're at, and what this way of giving care. If you want to drop that in the comments, I just think more loving kindness and more ways of giving care. It would be helpful even for someone in pile 1 to like see that and be like, oh yeah, that's what that pile is working on. Like that's so cool. To give us a place to reach towards, because you're not very, very far from your goals, pile 3. It just feels like a kind of like muted magic time, muted magic. So thank you very much, pile 3. Links to book in with me are down below as always, and please make sure that you have the notification bell on, because I am going to release a 2021 reading this week and I'm excited for people to watch it. So I'm just hoping you get the notification and we can talk about it earlier. So that's awesome. So thank you very much, pile 3. And now we're moving on to pile number 4. Pile number 4, Parrot, watch your words. I'm feeling like, sure, the watch your words piece might be useful, but I'm also feeling like it's the colorfulness of this parrot. Like there's something really about like standing out or singing. Like it feels like I'm just hearing a lot of talking and a lot of singing, like a lot of communication from this parrot. Like talk, 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 talk. It just has like so much to say. It's like, blah, 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 blah. It really, really is. Okay, that parrot's just gonna chill with us this whole reading, I bet. That's really distracting. Okay, we're getting Dreamtime creation. Okay, so I think you might also share, it might be like, I feel like this parrot, as soon as I said dream time, it was like, oh my gosh, I had this dream, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, you have like this dream that you want to share. So that might be what you're doing this week, is sharing a dream that you had, whether that's a physical, like a physical dream. It's like, none of them are really tangible, are they? But like a dream you had while sleeping, or a goal, or like a dream, a daydream, right? It might be either. Okay, getting a lot of like throat itchiness. It could be because I've been talking for hours, but it also could be because you're feeling blocked. I am feeling like attention needs to be here, and it makes sense because it's all about communication. You might be communicating a lot more than you have been, and so that might be it's like you feel hoarse because you're like, I just spoke more than I have in the last, year or something like that. That just might be how it feels for you this week. Okay, I'm also getting faith here. And under faith, it says, miraculously, amazingly, everything I need always comes. Love is opening me to receive beyond anything I imagine. So I love that it says beyond what you can imagine, because doesn't it feel like dreams are like more than what you could actually imagine? But once they come to you, you're like, of course, that makes sense. Something about dreams that's really, really fascinating to me about this group. If you're not remembering your dreams, you might want to reach out also for like an energy clearing session and or to talk with me about it, because often a reason that we're not receiving our dreams is because there's some sort of fear or block about receiving that information, and it feels like we don't have space to receive it. So I can kind of help you in a way condense that information so that you have more space to receive the dreams again. I've worked with a lot of different people with dream recalling and dream retrieving and sort of inviting them back in. And I would say most of the time, like 85% of the time, within that same week, people are dreaming again. It's like you haven't in months. So I really do feel there's something about it subconsciously that we can unlock together that allows you to receive that, useful information. So we have Wandering Path, which says enjoy your journey. Traveling Lightly, which says simplify your life. And then Impasse, which says reflect and redirect your energy. So it goes enjoy the journey, simplify your life, and then reflect and redirect your energy. And this feels like you're doing, I use the word pivot in another one of these piles. I'm not sure what one it was now, but it feels like you're doing a divine pivot is what I would call it. So it feels like you're being redirected from where you were throwing your energies, but you know that this is a way more solid ground than the one you were chasing before. And that's because you have this faith, right? That, the dreams are showing you more the truth than what the external world is showing you. Yeah. There's a whole whack ton I could say about this, because this is like the path of my life is having dreams and having an awareness that something is going to happen and reacting to it and not being able to really put it quantifiably into words for most of my life. And people would maybe validate or maybe not the fact that I would have this precognition of what was going to happen. And then when you get to that place, then you're like, oh, now I understand. Like, now I understand what that was all about. Now this all makes sense. And it's this like level of clarity that I've gotten the chance to live with, but also been confused as to why I have it. It feels like you're being asked to enjoy the dreams, enjoy the journey, and like step towards what you're receiving. That these dreams that you're getting, or daydreams, right? Impressions of any kind. It doesn't have to be at sleep necessarily to be a dream. It's like it's redirecting you, and you might have just been like, yeah, I'll pay attention to that later. Oh yeah, good tip. I'll do that in time or something. And your guides are kind of being like, all right, like enough is enough. It's time to put some kind action towards this. Wow, okay, so you're getting Sacred Vision, the Miriam, which is see the light in all and remember that love has no boundaries and choose to forgive. And I'm feeling it's forgive yourself in order to heal. But so with Sacred Vision, you also have Isis, which is magic manifesting. So I love that you have Sacred Vision and magic manifesting as part of this. And it really is saying stay focused, but stay focused on your dreams. Don't stay focused on the steps. Like it really feels like it's like you get a dream and then you're like, okay, I'll go write that in my planner, and there's 50 steps before that, so I'll have to do this. Instead, the dream's telling you go towards the 50th step. You might not have to do steps 1 to 49 if you just go right towards it. Or maybe, if you shoot for step 50, you'll be bumped down to step 30. So you're still 30 ahead from where you started. But if you don't reach for it, you're not going to be able. So it really feels like reaching further than you've been letting yourself recently. It's a very exciting week for you. It might be about your setting goals. It might be about like setting goals that feel more like dreams and not as much like safe goals. That might be part of it. You also have Paul the Venetian, which is experiencing grace. It says, share your gifts with grace and waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. So I think just reflect on that feeling, like waves of inspiration and love are coming to you. That's a beautiful existence. And it's true. They're always coming to you, right? We don't always have the space and capacity to bring them in and to receive them. It's a receptivity really, really strongly with this group. You might feel close to pile 2 as well, because the theme of receptivity was pretty strong in there as well. Then we have Mahavatar Babaji, which is soul expansion. I really like this for you. It says your consciousness is expanding and you understand the connections between all things. So it feels really like a deepening of your understanding of your purpose. It feels like your divine mission, like literally the reason for you being on this earth is going to be a lot more clear for you this week, because you're going to trust the dreams are actually leading you to your best and highest path, rather than thinking the dreams are a fun thing for you to experience, or thinking dreams are cool, but they're not really telling me anything. Okay, so you're really gonna like dive in and trust that. If you're struggling with that at all, please do reach out. I do specialize in dreams and in, mission. I do feel that's why I'm here to help. I'm going to do one more card for you. Angel card. Pile 4. What angel support? Oh, okay. How nice. Guardian angel. Just know you're protected. Okay, so anything that you're feeling a little bit worried or concerned about, going for, do it. Do it with faith and trust that, if you don't reach that step 50, you're at least going to be at 30. And it's at least part of the way there that you weren't before. So I'm excited for you, pile 4, for you to zoom ahead this week in whatever way that shows up as. And yeah, I have the links to book with me down below if you are interested. And as well, I still am doing the 2021 readings. I do have a few more spots for them. If you wanted to book one of those with me, then you can reach out, and the link again is down below. And if you don't have the notification bell on, please make sure it's on, because I'm really excited for this 2021 Healing Elements video that I'm gonna record later this week. And I'm interested to see, what you're feeling for the year ahead. And yeah, maybe I'll do an ask in there to sort of say some of our goals or check in. It's nice to have the community speaking a little bit on here whenever we get a chance to. I know sometimes it's hard because you'll be like listening to a YouTube video on your phone, you won't really think to comment, but I really, really do appreciate them whenever they come in. So thank you so, so much. Thank you for being here thus far. If you made it from, the pile 1 to now, then I'm just so, so grateful to have you here and watching and supporting this journey for myself, but I'm also supporting yours. So I just really like this tandem exchange that the YouTube is giving me, and I plan to stay. So thank you very much, pile 4, and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care.